Yeah, I want to say a couple words about some of the things that happened in the past. I know, like Brother John F. He used to predict $100 silver crap 50 million times, and I was like, hey, you don't know. I mean, if Ben Bernanke says we're going to do a trillion and a half QE, it probably would have happened. You know, I mean, really, it probably would have happened because the people would have been speculating all the way up. It would have went ballistic. But yeah, silver's one of the craziest animals going. But I also want to point out something. I don't get into like selling financial instruments. I don't sell any real estate. But I did, and actually these things are expired now. I just never you gotta. I took some exams like in things and courses, just for the hell of it in like real estate and all these different courses and in the financial area. Different financial instruments, insurance industry, and all kinds of stuff. But I never got into that stuff. I just took it for the hell of it because in the accounting field, it's good to know a lot of details about the industry itself rather than just, the bean counting part of it and stuff. But I can tell you right now, to this day, I mean from years ago, I must be getting 50 million emails about, get a list of clients, get people you could sell to, and all this kind of shit. And it's like, how many you freaking you block the emails and all this. You're getting 50 million more of them. You are. And it paints a very good picture as to what the financial industry is. Looking for a bunch of suckers to invest with them, man. That's the whole game. And actually, if you get a lot of people, you crush the competition, right? Because, say you're going to Fidelity or Vanguard, they're the big guys in the block or whatever. Basically, you got, a lot more power to manage things more efficiently because you're a bigger guy in the block. But it's really, they need your money with them. They will never, the only people that are actually going to be pushing the silver and gold are the bullion dealers. But, that being said, everybody's got a sales pitch everywhere around. They all do. They all do. But what I don't trust, there is going to be possibility of a implosion of the system, where it's going to be governmental debt is going to go kablooey. I'm just putting it in simple terms. But, not everything on a piece of paper is going to go, into oblivion. Because paper and electronic transactions are still going to be done in companies that are actually producing things that people need. I mean, the energy sector, the agricultural sector, maybe the livestock sector, some of the electronic components needed for communications and things, hard durable goods. I mean, these companies are going to be using financial instruments that, they'll be selling stocks, they'll be giving people dividends and that type of stuff. Where the paper is going to go to oblivion is going to be the government debt. And that is so damn obvious because every government seems to be getting more and more debt. They can't raise interest rates at all. Nobody's going to be buying these bonds forever, because the interest is that low. So it's like, the game is going to come about. So, but Brother John F. and a lot of these pumpers and whatever the hell they are, they're basically correct. Nobody expected. Well, I'm gonna say actually, I think if I, I don't look at too much of BJF stuff, but a long time ago when silver got slammed down, the final line in one of the big lines in the sand was like 21, 22, and the final line in the sand where it's a strong support is 18, 19, right where it is. That may turn out to be correct. So, but electronically, they're going to try to do anything they possibly can. Because I can tell you this, you really can't even go by the mining costs too much. Like you could say the miners are losing money to fuel. And I know they would be losing money for real now at these prices. And, they're losing money even like they can't even produce it this cheap, basically, generally speaking. Depends on how you fudge the numbers. You could say it's cheaper. But generally speaking, they can't produce the metals. Even going bare bones and not looking for new areas to explore, doing all these extra capital investments to bring on more production. I'm just talking about going with what they've already discovered right now, bare bones. They're not going to make money the way they are now, even now. So, but that being said, That doesn't mean crap what can actually happen to the price. I don't think it's going to, 1819 is very strong support. But sometimes you just can't think about the fundamentals. And I can give you an example. Like there's a project that was, I don't want to say too much, but $300,000 construction cost on this one project. 300 million, excuse me. 300 million, when I say thousand, is in this one project. And very good team of engineers and people understood project management. It was done way below budget. It was basically expected to be more than that. High quality construction, all completed. On the market, the bank wants to get $25 million for it. I mean, they could not build this thing today for 10 times that amount of money. And nobody's buying, right? I mean, that's kind of like how a lot of things, even when you saw the housing market go down, houses that were maybe going for 300, and I'll say 300,000 now, were going for 300,000. They were going on the market. Some places they were trying to give them away for like under 100,000. You couldn't build them that cheap, and they still weren't selling, right? So electronically, the price can go to a lot of crazy numbers, but I also do believe that if it gets down too deep, that the bullion dealers themselves are actually going to charge a premium. So I don't know how well, that might be like an electronic thing. But some of the things I think coming up, though, like even what Ann Barnhart talked about with the brokerage accounts, she doesn't feel safe about being in, running a brokerage firm anymore. I think she had a small firm. She's probably on the money with that. Because I could, I could myself say this. If these guys in these, running these brokerage firms, they're like just looking for clients. They're looking for big bucks clients. How much you got? You got 2 million? Oh, good. They're just jumping for joy. If you got 20 million, you're like, they just peed their pants. They're all freaking happy. But if they don't really know what the hell's going on, they're freaking in the business of selling, man. That's what they do. They sell, go into my brokerage firm. And of course, they always act like they know what's going on, They do know stuff. But I mean, it's like they're in the business of selling. And they want you to invest with them. But if there's a big problem someplace, like a big catastrophic collapse, they ain't going to be able to do shit for you, man. Nothing. And I can imagine what these guys would be saying. They can't back up your money. The only way your money's going to be backed up is with that rock called gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. That's the only way your money's going to be really backed up. That's like the fail-safe to the fail-safe to the fail-safe to the backup to the backup to the backup. That's basically what it is, man. And these, I could tell you, like these people in the financial world, they're selling all this stuff. They're always looking for people, oh, you go call these people, call that. I never got involved in that shit at all, but I took the test, and I just realized, I realized what that industry's about, man. Crap, they're just a bunch of salespeople. That's all they are, and they don't even know what the hell they're selling. They don't. They act like they know. Because the more initials you get after your name, the more people trust you. So that's part of the game. But common sense goes an extremely long way. And that's one reason you have the metals. It's the backup to the backup to the backup. Now, in the future, I don't know what's going to happen exactly. I think the metals are going to hit like a crazy bubble. But I also want to say this. A lot of people in the United States are like so fed up with the Western elite and all this kind of garbage. But I'm going to tell you, the people in the Chinese elite, they're probably worst. It's like, you're not going to solve the problem by, if the banking system in the West collapsed or something, and it got replaced by something else, and, China was the big dominant factor. It ain't going to do nothing for anybody, believe me. Those guys will be pushing the same games all the way. It's just that they want to be on the top, and, it's like they're not trying to actually do something for the people themselves. Not in a million years. They just want to be the top dogs. That's all it is. I mean, Iran, same deal. I mean, you're looking at Iran, they got their oil bourse. They don't want to accept U.S. dollars. They're not doing something like for like some noble purposes. They just want their own racket going, man. Oh, they'd love that if they could. I mean, it's a possibility right now, but if they could possibly have some kind of, OPEC oil-backed currency that didn't have the United States involved with it, and it was just their own issue with, say Gaddafi was around and Iran was together with that, well, they would do it. And they'd be top dogs, and they'd be screwing the people over just as much as anybody in the West. So don't be stupid and just knock down the West all the time, and because the replacement is probably going to be worst, so I'm throwing that out there too, man, because, I don't agree with these scam artist bankers we got in Wall Street, but, the ones in Shanghai might even be worse, you know what I'm saying? So, just, you want true reform. You don't want to switch one boss for the worst something going, even something worse. You don't want to be doing that. You want true reform. But just, be patient, some of the stuff out there with some of the lofty predictions, even when Brother John F. made some of these crazy predictions, they weren't so crazy. Because Ben Bernanke could have made it happen. If they didn't, slam down margins and stuff like that, even that, figure it out. Figure it out. See, Ben, back in April of whatever, I know he's, reading the charts and shit, but, you never know when those charts are going to change. But the thing is, if in April of 2011, if they didn't raise the margins a gazillion times, and Ben Bernanke says we're going to do $1.5 trillion QE on top of this, that freaking silver would have went to $80, no problem, probably, right? It would have. It would have. But they don't want it to go up that much. And I'm going to say this in the future. It's just really a warning to the silver pumpers. Don't knock Ben Bernanke or his, he's not going to be around, whoever the hell it is, Janet Yellen or whatever the hell, I don't know who it's going to be. Don't knock him too much. Give him cheer him on. Yeah, silver's going up. Thanks a lot, Federal Reserve. I want to hear some more of that kind of shit. That's the plan for the future, man. Cheer that Fed on, baby. Yo, Janet Yellen, you're doing a great job. Silver's going up. Yeah, we love the Fed. That's what we got to hear, man.